A beginning is the time for taking the most delicate care that the balances are correct. Good movie, even a greater book. I'd strongly recommend it. Hey guys, when it comes to reading a book, I do favor the traditional form factor. Having a book, even as big as this one, in your hand, it feels nice when you have the time to actually read. Unfortunately, nowadays, I don't really get that much time to read books. And my reading list contains articles, datasheets, definitely not user manuals, well, and the most sophisticated plot twist is usually when I connect something incorrectly. So I'm not probably the best equipped to actually review an e-reader. However, I used to read a lot, and I do take a book on the long-haul flight with me because that's the only time I get to chill out and actually read a novel or two. As much as I like Dune, it's not a book I probably would take with me unless it would be in a much smaller format. And as you probably know, thanks to popularity of Kindle, now you can preload your e-reader with thousands of books and take them with you without taking all the space. And this is Kobo Libra 2, a very cute e-reader that, well, in this review I will investigate if it has the ability to actually give me a little bit of time to read more books. Until I've started to play with e-ink displays, I wasn't actually aware how good the technology is nowadays. The M5 paper device from M5 Stack I review in this video was, well, pretty good, responsive, and had the ability to have a usable keyboard, which was something I wasn't actually expecting on the e-ink displays. It only shows how long it's been since I actually played with the technology. I fell completely in love with my remarkable note-taking device. I've been using it ever since to, well, pretty much note everything. But as far as ebooks are concerned, I never had one. So while you probably gonna take some features for granted, I was actually quite surprised by this little pocket ebook, Kobo Libra 2. And while you probably can't call it a pocket friendly, it's definitely a bag friendly, because with this form factor you can just chuck it in the bag and take it with you. And with internal storage of 32 gigabytes, well, you'll be able to preload a lot of ebooks and audiobooks, because as it turns out, this little fella, well, supports both of them. But let's start with the most prominent feature, the e-ink display. And oh boy, I'm jealous of this one. I mean, after using Remarkable, I was very impressed with the technology, responsiveness, and how nice it looks. I mean, the biggest advantage of e-ink display is the ability to take it outside and read it in the broad daylight without any problems. With Remarkable 2, that came with the price of not being able to use that notebook in the darkness. But that's not the case with Kobo Libra 2. With the 7-inch display of the resolution 1264 by 1680, well, there comes a surprise. A hidden backlight that you can activate, or automatically activate, and even change the color temperature of the LED light or LED panel hidden underneath. It's brilliant because, well, you can use it in bed at late night without turning on the lights and disturbing your significant other. This is brilliant, and it makes me so jealous that feature like that isn't available on my Remarkable. I mean, great job, Kobo. The list of features on this device is actually a little bit longer because it's not just an ebook. It also has a Wi-Fi connectivity, which means you can synchronize your purchases from the Kobo store. That's the store you're going to be using to purchase your books. Now, unless you want to download your books in various different formats and load it up via USB cable. As the device has a Wi-Fi functionality and only 2.4 GHz bandwidth is supported right now, you will be able to do a couple of cool things. Pocket allows you to save the articles you read online for later reading and synchronize them with this device. There is a problem though, because Pocket can't decide what counts as an article that you can synchronize with the device and what counts as a bookmark. But I found this feature a little bit annoying because you never know whether you're gonna end up with a website synchronizing with your device or not. But there is a redeeming quality of the Kobo device itself, which is built-in a web browser. And I know what you're thinking, a web browser on the e-ink display? Are they mad? Obviously, you're not going to watch any videos on it or do advanced stuff. However, for the most part, the browsing experience isn't terrible. This means you will be able to use the Wi-Fi to connect to the internet and browse any page you want. There is an on-screen keyboard that you can use to browse the internet, search inquiries and access pages like mine. It was working just great. And it's actually quite pleasant. It's listed as a beta function. However, well, as far as I'm concerned, it's just working. Apart from Pocket account, you can also synchronize Overdrive, which is an online access to library books. I don't have an account with them, so I wasn't able to test it out, but the cool features don't end up there. Another thing is the cover itself. And I know what you're thinking, what could be so exciting about the cover itself? I mean, I feel like a fool for spending £100 on the remarkable folio, which basically protects the device and it doesn't do anything else. Kobo went a step ahead and made this folio cover a little bit smarter. This means that apart from protecting the device, it will also enable the sleep time or wake up device depending on the cover orientation. So if you close the device, you'll put the device automatically to sleep, and that way you'll save even more battery. To make things even more useful, the Kobo came up with a very simple and clever design that allows you to use this cover as a stand, so that way you don't even have to keep the reader in your hands. And all of that at the price of £37 in UK. I mean, honestly, brilliant cover, and you should get one. Obviously, the e-reader is going to be as interesting as the content that you have on the reader itself. I've mentioned that 32 gig internal storage, it is plenty. It's going to be several thousand books or a couple of hundreds of audiobooks, which this device supports as well. The reading experience is great. You can either use the swipe actions or buttons to swipe through pages. There are shortcuts to jump to the next chapters, etc. And the touch interface is quite responsive. The backlight works really great to ease the strain of your eyes, and you can even invert the text to make it easier to read. But if your eyes get tired, you can switch to audiobooks thanks to integrated Bluetooth. Now, there is no headphone jack, so you will be able to use Bluetooth headphones, but the experience is pretty easy. Pair your Bluetooth headphones and start listening. You can close your eyes, lay down and enjoy the experience. But not all devices are perfect, and let's talk about things that could be improved on this. So apart from previously mentioned Pocket issues, there's a couple of things that I would like to see improved. There's no easy way to synchronize PDFs using the Vault app. You'll have to actually connect the device via cable, and then you can drag and drop your PDFs onto the device and keep it on storage. Another thing that I would like to see is the support for music. I mean, after all, since it already plays the audiobooks, it would be nice to be able to play your favorite playlist for reading and focus on reading the book while you're listening to some ambient music and remove all that background noise. Lastly, Google Drive isn't supported, and built-in web browser doesn't allow you to actually save any articles for further reading, something that would combat Pocket's inability to deal with some of the articles. I'd like to see this addressed pretty soon, because other than that, this is quite a compelling device. Now you can get Kobo Libra 2 for about $160, and I'll include the links to this device in the description of this video. It's definitely compelling e-reader, and I like the form factor and how little space it takes. I mean, after all, it's easy to take a device like this than a massive volume like this with you, even if you're just going to read a chapter on a train. So thanks to Kobo for sending me this, and if you're interested, I'm going to leave the links in the description of this video so you could decide for yourself. As for now, guys, you know what happens. I do not have a posting schedule, and if you're interested what's next, then you know how YouTube works. I'm not going to explain you that. What I'm going to say, social media accounts I would encourage you to follow, especially that YouTube loves to filter out the comments, and I have no control over that, you know, even in my moderation queue. So if you have something to say and I'll disappear, contact me via social media and we're gonna be in touch. So for now, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.